Hey guys, okay, so I tried to make a video earlier doing this to show you guys a more simpler way to speed hack. I don't know if you'd watched the videos that I made a few weeks back, but I guess I confused some people on how to do it without it screwing up the time on things. So I'm going to try and make this a little bit more simple for people. Before I started recording, just save time on video, I already put things like the bass here, the compasses, the mermaids, stuff like that at the workstations. And then I've got my people over here. Got an hour and 14 minutes left on them. And probably roughly the same over here, yeah, for the mill. So now I want to get this done quicker. I don't want to wait an hour and 15, and I don't want to wait, like, what was that, about an hour for the bass. I want to get that done now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the quick way to get this done faster. So what you're going to do, you're going to have to close out of it altogether, so that the time will adjust, and then you go into your settings, and actually, let me show you how to get there, in case you don't know already. At the top of your screen here, you click this button right here, and that's some people from my co-op messaging me about the game. There we go. Goodbye for now. All right, but so now you're in the settings here, and normally this will be what's up at the top, and then you just scroll down over here to date and time, and then you turn the automatic date and time off. So you change the time, and you go up. I'm going to go up 2 hours just to make it even, because I don't want to do like an hour and 10 minutes or whatever. It's just easier to go up by a full 2 hours. And then you got to restart the game here. I'll take a few seconds here. My internet's kind of slow, so I apologize. Just bear with me. I tried to make this video earlier, and for whatever reason, it did record my voice for the whole thing, but after a couple minutes, it just like froze on the actual screen. So it froze on like a screen like this, and then it couldn't see anything else I was doing. So hopefully this time, it'll actually work once this loads. Alright, come on, game, hurry up. But the reason I'm remaking this video, I don't think I mentioned this yet. I said it earlier 1,000 times, but that video obviously didn't work out. The reason I'm redoing this is because the first time I tried to show this, one, I think it was kind of harder to see because it wasn't recording my screen directly. I was recording what I was doing with another camera. And two, I think I made it a little too complicated as far as when you need to reset the time in order to not screw things up. So I've heard from several people that for whatever reason, they're getting, the time on the things like over here that if they didn't harvest it at the time that they did the speed hack or whatever, or they forgot, like, I'll show you what I mean in a second here. And while they're in this speeded up version, try to put something else at that time without resetting it first. Then when they did reset it to their correct time, it added time. So I'm going to show you here what I mean by that after I get everything. But now you can see in a matter of seconds, I was able to get all this stuff done super fast. Now here's what you don't want to do, because if you do this, it will end up jacking up the time. Here, sorry, my internet's so slow, it keeps dragging. Okay, so I harvested the tomatoes here because I'm going to need them to feed my sheep. But I don't want to do that right now, because right now I'm in the future time, and when I set this back to the correct time in a couple seconds here, if I feed them now, instead of them being done in 30 minutes, they're going to be done in 2 hours and 30 minutes. So I'm going to have to go back and refix that because it'll screw it up. So what I'm going to do also, because I want more strawberries for granola bars, I'm going to harvest those, but same thing goes with these. Do not water the tomatoes. Don't water the strawberries or whatever else you're harvesting at the time, because if if I water those now instead of them being done in like 10 minutes or an hour or 45 minutes or however long the strawberries take, I can't remember, it'll add 2 hours onto that since I jumped forward 2 hours. So let me go over here too. I want to grab these because these are done now because I sped up. Same thing goes for the trees though. Don't water them, wait on it, or same thing will happen. And that also happens with these things. And I'll do one example here just to show you what I mean. If you haven't done this before, you didn't see my other video and you have no clue what I'm talking about, I'm going to intentionally do this, do what you're not supposed to do right now, just to show you what will happen in case you haven't encountered this yet. I'm going to make egg whites. So now see, these are normally done in 1 minute and 50 seconds. All right, I forgot I've got one more person to harvest over here. I forgot I had him going. Alrighty, let me get this done. All right, now I'm going to reset this to the correct time. Now, when you reset this to the correct time, oh, same thing goes with the shovels. Since I sped that up, I don't want to put that in again now because that'll add another 2 hours to that. Oh, sorry, I accidentally clicked on things. But all right, so now before this gets done, so that I can actually use this for an example, I'm going to close out of this all the way and reset it to the time, or to the correct time, I should say. And then now I'm going to reopen this. And you'll see what I'm talking about. And I think this is what most people said was happening because they would forget and they'd be in the sped up time and they would send somebody to the mine or to the mill and then they'd reset it. And then instead of it being, 2 hours till they were done, now once they've set back to the correct time, then it's like 4 hours or 6 hours or 10 hours or however long in the future they had sped that up to. Now it had added that onto it when they reset it. Same thing with when they harvested the crops in the future time and watered them in the future time before resetting and watering them, or feeding the animals in the future time, or putting anything else at the buildings, like I just did with the eggs. So I'm going to show you with the egg whites what I'm talking about. This is what will happen if you don't reset. No, come on, let's load. Alright, this is actually working a little faster than it did earlier, thankfully. I was trying to make a 5-minute video earlier, and I think you guys probably lucked out because I'm about done here. Earlier, it was so slow, it took me about 25 minutes. You guys would have probably been dying. Alright, come on, load. Alright, now see, this is what not to do, because that's what's going to happen. See, instead of those being done in 2 minutes, had I waited until now, if I'd waited until I reset and just started those now, they would be done in like 2 minutes or however long it takes. But since I, quote unquote, forgot that I was in the sped up time and did that, now it added 2 hours to it. So I'll go back in a second and fix that for myself. Basically, you're just going to have to do exactly what you would do to normally speed hack. And same thing goes with these though too. I don't know if I mentioned that before I reset the time. You can't send people back to these things until you reset the time again. Because had I done that with these, it would have just added more time to it and kind of defeated the purpose, which is what I think a lot of you have discovered also in that too. Basically, all of them work the same way. If you do it with, whether you do it with like the mine, the mill, the animals, whatever, or you like the prize animals, or if you just do it with like the regular animals or the watering of the crops or whatever, if you had watered these, or I had like fed those sheep or whatever in the sped up time, then that would have added time to it, just like how the eggs did. And then I'll go back and change that in a second. But, so basically now I'm just doing what I would normally do and refilling everything here. And then right after I let you guys go, I'll go back and fix those eggs, but it's going to basically be the same thing. So now if I wanted to fix this, I would just go back, come over here, close out the game, and then set the time forward again. But I'm not going to make you wait through my game reloading again to do that. But so if you try and do this in the future and you still have any other issues with it, like you accidentally forget and this happens or whatever, and you can't figure out how to get it back. Because I've also noticed one thing I actually had happen by accident earlier. I wasn't even trying to do it, but I'm glad it did happen, because otherwise I would have forgotten to mention it. I had gone a couple times forwarding everything 2 hours so that I could get like the mill and the mine people to be done, and I did it a few times so that in case you're one of those people that needs to learn by repetition, you could see it done a couple times and know what I was talking about. But I think it's simple enough that I shouldn't need to keep redoing this. But what I forgot was I had the tomatoes here, and I kept going ahead 2 hours, and then I don't remember what I was trying to do, but for whatever reason on the last time around I had to speed it up by 3 hours, and I had forgotten in the process of doing that I had watered these tomatoes, and then when I went to go like do it 3 hours and then turned it back and reset it to the proper time, it ended up adding an hour because I wasn't doing the like 2 hour back and forth thing again, because I just watered them and then I went to speed hack and I screwed it up. So I was like, that's probably what you people were talking about before when you're like, I don't get what you're saying about just fix it the same way. So that's I think what had probably happened for you guys as well. So if you run into that in the future and you can't figure out why it's adding time or something, because maybe you forgot and you watered something or you fed something or whatever and you didn't mean to, that's probably why. If you can't figure out on your own how to fix it, send me a screenshot of what's going on and let me know, and then I can walk you through it. Or if you're somebody who's just watching this on YouTube and isn't one of the people in my co-op, who are probably going to be the majority of the people that watch this, but if you're somebody else that I don't actually know personally or play the game with or friends with on Facebook, just leave a comment in the section here on YouTube, and then I'll reach back out to you once I get the notification of your comment, and I'll let you know how you can fix that. So happy farming, everyone, and if you've got any questions, you know how to get a hold of me. All right, have a good one.